Hello everyone, welcome back to another Fall Guys video. So I wasn't actually expecting us to be at this position where I was going to have to make a video about this early on. I mean, I guess we're not that early on, it's been over 5 years of Fall Guys, and it seems to me like things are not looking great at the moment in terms of updates. So you probably heard, if you're around on social media much, that people have been very concerned and worried about a most recent Fall Guys update. So this update, we've got our nice new Fame Pass, we've got our sort of Halloween factory theme and things, but behind the scenes, you'll notice there have been a lot of things added to the game. In fact, enough cosmetics and events and even lobby backgrounds to fill the next year of the game. So this has never happened before. We usually just get things added to the game, maybe an update in advance. There's sometimes costumes that are added before that, but people are obviously rightfully worried that this means that the game won't actually be worked on anymore, and everything's planned to just see us through the next year, and then who knows. As well as that, the new update hasn't given us any new levels. There are no new official levels from the Fall Guys team, and a lot of people have been questioning this. So many, in fact, that Fall Guys was trending again on Twitter, and the Fall Guys Twitter account actually did offer a reply. So many people were talking about this that their reply was this: Beans, we've seen the chatter around what's coming next for Fall Guys, and here's what to expect going forward. New ranked cycles every 8 weeks, which we already have anyway. The return of vaulted levels, of which there are I think only 3 left anyway. Limited time modes and live events to shake the party up, which we have anyway, and new Fame Passes, which we already have. So if you read between the lines there, it means no new things. I mean, apart from Fame Passes. And let's be honest, as cool as the ranked mode is, it's a pretty easy thing to set up and just automate for a whole year. All they need is to have a thing that chooses some random levels to put in to switch between each season, and the rewards are pretty simple. You just have an emoticon with silver, gold, or bronze, I think it is. I've never got bronze, haha, look at me. And 1 costume. That's right, each season of Ranked, the reward is 1 costume. And that costume, so far at least, and going forward looks to be the same, is just a recolor in white and gold of an existing costume we already have. And I don't know how long it takes to recolor a costume, but I'm going to imagine not a whole lot of time. I don't know if you need like an artistic team to do that. So what I've personally been thinking is the game has probably had a lot less staff involved on it than we actually thought. But we have to be realistic here as well. A lot of the team has left. There was a big amount of layoffs originally, shortly after Epic Games got Fall Guys, and in more recent times we have lost some of the creative team, some of the people that worked on creative mode, adding and testing new stuff in it, making some of the levels possibly, and we've also lost the big man. We've lost Joe, the creative director of the entirety of Fall Guys, who was there since the beginning. So that's a lot of people gone. How many people realistically at Mediatonic or Epic Games are actually involved in our favourite little bean game anymore? There can't be that many, and something I've suspected for a little while is actually there's no one solely working on Fall Guys anymore. I'm guessing that there are people that work on other games now, or maybe, other Epic games or Mediatonic games, and every now and again they'll do a little bit in Fall Guys. It's felt a little bit like there's not a whole lot been going on in it for a while anyway. I know a lot of people have complained for years that there's no new Unity levels, but you have to be realistic about that as well. Unity levels were very expensive to create, took a long time. We had huge amounts of downtime when we were waiting for new seasons back in those times, and they also required a lot of staff. You needed level designers, art people, concept design testers, people that made new obstacles and things like that. There was a lot of involvement in that, and when they shifted to creative, things were able to be fixed more easily, built quicker. There was just a lot of things easier about creative mode. But Mediatonic hasn't done everything right, and neither has Epic Games, but neither of them have done everything wrong either. I see a lot of people who are very quick to judge Epic Games, but again, being realistic here, Epic Games have actually played a lot in the success of Fall Guys. People also forget how long ago Epic Games actually got hold of Fall Guys. It was all the way back in original Season 4, I believe, and they did plenty of good things after owning it. I don't know how involved they actually were in it, but they obviously funded it, and after Epic Games owned it, we had some of the best seasons of the game, in my opinion. Free-to-play, SS1 and SS2 were just incredible. The track levels, the space levels, all fantastic in my eyes, and I think that was probably the height of the game. That's right, my favourite part of the game. Epic Games owned it. A lot of people are very nostalgic and think that Epic Games ruined it and it was better before then, but it wasn't really. There were a lot of bugs, there were various problems with anti-cheat, names, remember when everyone had randomized names, not many levels in the games, weird physics. Do you remember bean tornadoes? If you were there near the beginning, beans could fall over at any moment and they could get kind of stuck. If you had loads of beans in one place, you got this weird sort of tornado effect. Block Party used to be one of the most difficult levels in the game at those times, and you could die just by getting stuck in a crowd. It was really hard. So I think Epic Games has made a lot of good changes. Mediatonic has done lots of good things as well, but neither of them have done perfect. I think one of the things that has held the game back the largest amount is the fact that we have creative mode, we have fans making incredible levels every day, and they're not getting used. Creator Spotlight isn't used, in my eyes. Discovery isn't used. Fall Guys is still meant to be a competitive game, and most levels that are made by the fans are made to be played in a competitive environment. There's no fun playing some of these levels when there's no kind of danger or risk. When you've just got to get to the end of the level, it isn't really that enjoyable. Now, Mediatonic or Epic Games, whoever decided to do it, has tried making some modes that are just creative maps made by the fans, and they were really popular. People really enjoyed them. Even the people that didn't like creative levels that much thought they were good and played them quite a bit. We also had the old shows where it was just one race round with a 1 crown reward that were all creative levels made by fans. Those were also really popular. What happened to all these? Why did Mediatonic or Fall Guys or Epic Games decide to stop doing these kind of events? Was there a reason? I know there was a lot of people complaining, a very vocal minority of people just complaining about anything to do with creative constantly because they wanted their Unity levels back, even though that was basically impossible with the budget that the game seemed to have. I don't know how much money Fall Guys has actually been making. It's been in and out of the top 10 downloaded games for multiplayer games or free games or something. I keep seeing the top 10 posted every now and again, and it's maintained millions of players every year. But there's always those people who complain constantly about creative mode ruining their favorite game, but it hasn't. It enabled so much more, and it's been around for longer than the Unity levels now. Creative has existed for over half of the game's life, and it made sense. It was good. It was a good way to progress the game when they weren't able to spend as much. Maybe Fall Guys hasn't been making that much money. I know that the views definitely have dropped off hugely, and the game's popularity has gone down. But this happens with live service games, especially ones that have been around for over 5 years. This is very uncommon. This kind of party game doesn't stay popular for that long. You have to be real here. It just doesn't happen. Look at some of the other biggest party games we have, like Mario Party, the Mario Maker game. These games don't tend to go on for years and years. Fall Guys is actually really rare and lucky in this situation, and maybe a studio like Mediatonic or Epic Games didn't quite know what to do to maintain this popularity. It's already been popular for longer than anyone expected, probably, but it is kind of a shame to see that they haven't fully utilized creative mode and actually using the kind of levels that people made for them for free in this game. Look at creative mode in Fortnite. It's so popular, for better or for worse, that even the people that make stuff in it can actually earn money by having people playing their maps a lot. Sure, Fall Guys probably isn't making enough for that to even be possible, but couldn't they at least give a reward to people who make creative maps? Maybe if you get a certain amount of plays, you get a nameplate or something to encourage people to do it. But the very least that we could have hoped for was for those levels, the best of the best, to actually keep getting put into competitive shows where they will be enjoyed and played the way they were meant to be. Now, of course, this could all be just garbage, Maybe they put a load of stuff in the game in advance because they want to do something else in the game for a little while. Fix it a bit, clean up some old code, try doing something new. But I think, to be honest, at this point, 5 years into the game, the fact that we've still got the game, it's playable. We've got ranked mode here, and that changes every few months. We've got events coming up. We've even got a new ranked, extreme mode that's come out, which changes LTMs each time, with little bits of rewards here and there, but it's something to play toward. They've added some new crown ranks, so we do actually have new things. I'm not top crown rank anymore, for instance. I've got to get some more crowns in the game. I think we're doing alright. The game's not gonna just die, but it is sad to think we might not ever get some of the things that they were trying out when there were more staff. Remember seeing things like tether mode, other power-ups? I think, unfortunately, the new power-ups that they put into the game, the new little creative things, the new levels, they don't really keep people playing for that long, or in that large amount of numbers. The game lost so many players way back in season OG 2 or 3 anyway, because it was just way more popular than people expected. And so then it became, just popular, not insanely popular. But whenever they added stuff, it cost a lot of money to do, and it didn't really bring many players back, ever. Ever since the older seasons, it just isn't something that really happens. So over time, they've realized, hey, we're spending loads of time and money and effort making new stuff, and it's not really making any difference to player retention or bringing more people in. So it's going to get to a point where you can't afford to do that anymore. The other thing I think we lost quite a while ago was costumes that weren't collaborations with Disney. We did actually have Banania, which is, as far as I know, a non-Disney thing. But other than that, I think it's only Disney collaborations these days, so there's just a lot less of interest for me in the shop, and probably for a lot of other people as well. Unless you're super into Disney, which is fine. Maybe Disney is paying Epic Games a bit. I think, or do they own Epic Games? Something weird like that, anyway. But all in all, the game is going to keep going. We know that it's going to be supported with its servers on for at least a year. But does this mean, with all of these things put into the game, that they're even going to keep things like artists working on the game? If they've got a year's worth of stuff, and as well as that, we know there's a load of unreleased cosmetics just sitting in the game files that they could sell in the shop at any point if they run out of stuff. Are they even going to have staff working on the game anymore, or have they just got it to a point where it's fully automated and they can just leave it running with occasional maintenance to servers and things? I feel like that's probably the point we've got, unless it for some reason gets really popular again randomly. You know how sometimes people come back to games that they have a nostalgia about. I don't think stuff is going to get touched much, to be honest, otherwise. There's still rumours about Fall Guys just going fully into Fortnite, and I don't know whether that's going to happen for sure or not. I'll sort of be surprised if it does happen, because I think what they already did with putting Fall Guys into Fortnite was kind of a big flop, unfortunately. It was nice to see. Obviously a lot of work did go into it, but it just felt bad to play. The physics weren't very good. I don't know if that would be even easily fixed or worth being fixed, but that's what we've got. The game has a future, sort of, as long as we don't expect to get anything new. They're probably going to unvault the last few things, maintain some of the creative maps that they've already made, but I just really wish they could just have one person spend a couple of hours a week making a list of some good creative levels made by the fans, and just put a show that changes every few weeks together with those things. There's a lot of people in the community who will probably be happy to do that without even getting paid. I don't know if that would even be something that would be allowed to be done by Mediatonic or Epic Games, but I think it would just keep the game a lot more fresh, and probably get people more likely to spend a little bit on Showbucks if they feel like the game isn't in its final stages. But anyway, let me know what you've got to think. We've all enjoyed this game for the last few years. It's a sad truth, I think, getting to this point. It was inevitable. Let's be real. The game probably isn't making enough money to fund full employment of a team to keep on working on it with new stuff, but that happens. It's a live service game. It's free to play. They're not going to make any money apart from what they make from Showbox sales and things like that, and that's just what you got to expect. thank you very much for watching this little video. Hope you've enjoyed the gameplay. I think I've put some ranked gameplay in the background because I've been playing the new season. Leave a like, a comment if you got anything to say about this, and I'll see you in another video someday soon. Goodbye.